Hello everyone, it's the Dork Duo once again. I don't know why I'm speaking like that. It's us. We're back with more
Yeah.
The Great
Hey
Ace
guys.
Attorney 2 Resolve.
Woo!
We're gonna finish up Case 1.
Oh, it's been like a very, very weird time finding ourselves back in this courtroom again. I know it has for me anyway. Let's see. Oh, I'm so sorry, Susato. I should have told you about the toxin.
Ray,
Eh,
you have a strong sense of responsibility, I know. That's why you decide to shoulder the burden alone.
no, that's not it at all.
That's not.
Uh, no, it was some deep-rooted hatred. That's what it was. He was right. I just didn't want to say it. I I was just... I was scared of my failure coming to light. That's all. So I hoped to retrieve the substance from the English woman before anyone found out. I like that justice thing better. Before the trial started, do you remember what you said, Susato? That you had no doubt in your mind about my innocence. That you stand by me to the last.
I remember.
And yet I didn't deserve your trust in me. I hid important details from you, Susato. I completely betrayed your faith in me. Hit me, Susato. I deserve it. No, in fact, throw me to the floor.
Do it harder!
Oh, you're one of those types of girl. No, that's too good for me as well. Drag me through the city streets. Ray, calm down.
I'm no better, you know.
Oh,
Even though in my heart I knew that you'd pulled the knife blade from Miss Brett's back. It was just a brief moment when, in my mind, I doubted you.
Susato.
I'm sorry. After I stood here and promised you that I'd stand by you and always be on your side, I betrayed your faith in me too. And as such, I failed you as a lawyer.
Oh, no, no.
I think the situation has taught both of you a valuable lesson. Placing your unbridled faith in another is no easy task. Yes, Father. That fact has certainly struck home. Which is why I can see more clearly now. So, Ray,
Yes?
can you find your heart to forgive me?
Oh, Susato. You know you'll always be a gallant, dashing lawyer in my eyes now.
Oh, Ray.
Please drop that. I'm so scared, you know, when it happened. I didn't know what was going on. The English woman was sitting at the back of the hut, listening to what I was saying.
I know it was you who stole the oh, that... Yeah, never mind. We already saw this. It's fine.
Yeah. And then, a moment later, she suddenly got to her feet before collapsing on the floor in front of me with a knife in her back.
And a pen in her hand.
It all happened right before my eyes.
And you were the only people in that hut at the time?
That's right. Just Miss Brett and myself. There's no one else. I just don't understand how she could possibly have been stabbed like that.
A great mystery indeed.
It was a stand. I still can't believe it happened. That's why I just couldn't bring myself to speak up.
It will be alright. However it happened, and whatever really went on by the sea that day, I promise you, I'm going to prove everything you said you saw is true. Spoken like a true Mikotoba. Now, I think we should discuss what's coming up in the trial, don't you? We don't have much time. We must make sure we have our facts in order. Yes, I expect the poison is going to come under close scrutiny in the upcoming proceedings. The police should hopefully have identified it on the blade by now.
The trouble is, it's a completely new laboratory synthesized blend of Alkaloids?
Mm-hmm.
I almost said Altoids. That is a breath mint. The police won't have any way of testing for it.
They don't even know what Altoids are. Oh.
This hasn't been invented yet.
I see. Yes, without this chemical reagent, it's impossible to detect the toxin. Chemical reagent? I sent a colleague of mine off with some earlier to deliver to police headquarters. I think perhaps you should have some as well, though, just in case. Alright.
Ooh!
What's the matter, Susato? You're suddenly very quiet. It's this newspaper article. Exclusive. Deadly poison stolen from Yume Medical Research Laboratory. I'm wondering how the information got out, given that it was a government secret.
Oh, yeah. It was all the English woman's doing.
What?
It was when the professor and Sosuke's son were being interviewed at the laboratory. That so-called English lady swanned in without any compunction said to Professor Mikotoba.
Oh, Professor. Surely your guest would love to hear about your work on that substance there. It put me in a very awkward position, to be frank. But Sosuke-san's curiosity had been piqued, so I had little choice but to give him a cursory introduction. So then, Sosuke-san knew about the poison? Yes, and it's highly likely that the reporter who was writing up the story about us would have caught a glimpse of the toxin too. This mini memo-san. By the way, did that reporter join you all when you went to the beach?
Oh, no, I don't remember the reporter being there.
Indeed, he shouldn't have been. I very much doubt anyone would have wanted him there. Oh? A known criminal had been given permission by the authorities to bathe by the seaside. Sosuke-san pointed out that inviting a reporter might be problematic, so the man was sent back to his office. Yet he obviously didn't go back. He secretly followed the party to the beach and took this very candid photograph. And then presumably he posted it anonymously to the police.
Oh, that makes things worse.
Yes, that must be what happened. Yeah, that makes things a lot worse.
Frack.
Counsel! We've just heard that the new witness is now ready to testify. The trial's about to resume. Please proceed into the courtroom at once. Thanks, strangely
nice about it,
bailiff. It's time to steal ourselves once again, then. Defense attorney, Ryutaro Naruhodo. Yes. Ray has put her faith in me now and told me everything. So I can't let her down. I have to prove that what she's telling the court is true. I have to prove what really happened that day.
Okay. Also, how did the bailiff not hear Susato talking in her normal voice?
I'll let you take care of Many, Memo.
Oh, okay. I hereby call this court to order as we reconvene to continue the trial of Ray Mimbami.
See, right?
Yeah, I know, I almost said Meme-Bommy. Jeez. She's such a meme. Prosecutor Ouchie, have you summoned the new witness?
Yes, my lord, but he was a 5-star, so I had to tribute something.
Ow.
That's a little Yu-Gi-Oh joke for anyone who might know that. Before I address that question, Your Excellency, I have some very important news to share.
Oh.
What news? And why does it look so happy about it? During the recess, with the collaboration of Professor Mikotoba's laboratory at Yume University, the police re-examined the knife that was used to end Mr. Zalebrett's life.
Excellent. I admire your apprehending of the matter.
Oh, too kind, Your Excellency, too kind. I was merely carrying out your instructions, of course. Friggin' bootlicker.
Ugh. Hate people like that.
Activation delivered to police headquarters by rickshaw so it could be there in good time. But judging by the man's... Oh, whoa. I'm reading your lines, whoops. but judging by the man's swagger, I fear we might need to brace ourselves for the inevitable. And, Council, what were the results? I'm not telling you. This dagger, which was so cruelly used to end the life of the victim, has no trace of poison anywhere along its blade.
Of course it wouldn't. It's untraceable.
Well, not even that. It wasn't poisoned.
Oh.
Wait.
Dang.
Wait,
But-
it wasn't poisoned. Wait,
What?
what had to be poisoned?
We had evidence saying the exact thing that the untraceable poison did to your eyes.
It's untraceable to everyone but the lab. And the lad blood came back with no... Wait, what stabbed you then? What? Are you sure about that?
I am confused.
I would stake the reputation of the police on it. Armed with the
Shouldn't do that.
reagent, the test is extremely simple. They couldn't have made a mistake.
Unless they decide not to use it, but at
Well,
the same
that,
time...
that wouldn't make any sense, though. They'd have no reason not to. Otherwise, they'd be like, just use it. In short, the accused's feeble excuse earlier has been utterly destroyed. Hold that thought, Ouchie.
Hold on. There's the blood.
Oh yes, this must be the victim's blood. Oh dear. Blood is never a pretty sight, is it?
Speak
You
for
haven't
yourself.
felt the urge to run it under a hot tap and get it clean. You've always been fastidious about cleanliness, haven't you? I think this is something else, Father.
Okay.
There's nothing here to look at.
We can't combine any of this stuff, can we?
No.
Okay.
The label appears to be written in a foreign language that I don't know. It's German, so your knowledge of English is going to be of little help here, I'm afraid. Couldn't you just have written medicine on it in Japanese? Then we'd all be able to read it. German is the international language of medicine, my dear. But yes, I can certainly see the merit in labeling the bottle in Japanese. Though I'm not sure medicine would be entirely appropriate.
Probably not. What kind of medicine?
Well, it's a reagent, so... Okay, we...
Okay.
Ah! Now, the prosecutor's ready to call the new witness.
The newspaper reporter who managed to capture the photograph of the crucial moment. Good. Very well, officer. Bring in the witness.
No trace of poison on the knife. But if that's really the case...
Unless it was a new knife? So unless they swapped the knives, but I don't see why they would do that.
I mean, then how would her blood be on that knife?
Yeah, that is weird.
How could the toxin enter the victim's body?
Maybe it's another way. Like how, what's his name? Like how H. Wilson was killed.
Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court.
Let me see. What's his name? Write in
Mini memo.
Write in mini memo. Okay. Write mini memo of the Show You News. I'm what people like to call a journo.
Yeah. What's a journal, Father? Do you know? It's simply a contraction of journalist.
That's stupid. I don't like it. I'm there when news breaks, putting pen to paper to catch those scoops so they're in print the next morning. Yeah, you don't call me the hero of the Herald for nothing. The nice guy of news.
Sure, buddy. Oh, so, it was you who took this photograph, was it?
Well, what have we here?
I'm sorry?
Oh, brace yourselves, people. Mini members says a scoop in the office. Female student up to foul play defended by a curiously handsome young lawyer in Supreme Court.
Why is this young lawyer so handsome? Am I attracted to men?
I must be. Maybe you might want to go on a date later, huh?
No, my lady friend's gay for me instead. Sorry.
Oh, darn. Looks like I missed the boat on that. The readers will lap this up. We'll set it above the fold at 72 point in a 5-leg format in the morning edition.
Yeah, that's a whole lot of words I'm not grasping. Huh?
Yeah. Right then. Let's start with your name.
Oh, it's Ryutaro Naruhodo.
Next, what made you become a lawyer?
Well, I wanted to reform our country's legal system, I suppose. Ryutaro's suddenly become very ambitious, I see. I just borrowed Cosmo-sama's dream for a while. By the way, my name is Taketsuchi Aochi. That's Taketsuchi Aochi. The so-called Dark Horse of the Supreme Court. My objections strike fear into every defense lawyer's heart.
That sounds like somebody else.
Buddy, I didn't ask about you.
Huh. No, the readers won't buy that.
Ah! Frig!
Witness. Yes? What this court demands to know is whether or not you were responsible for the taking of this picture. Gee, I don't know. It was delivered anonymously to the Imperial Police Bureau only yesterday. Yeah, I wouldn't be a jerk if I didn't click a quick when represented with a scoop like that now, would I? Sometimes stories call out to me. Sometimes I have to chase them down, but either way, you got to be fast. Fast legs to run with, and a fast hand to write with. It's no good if you don't note it down, I always say. That's what I call my mini-memoism.
Mini-memoism? Ah, yes. I remember your face. We met that day when you were interviewing myself and Sosuke-san.
Dang, I just dropped my... good grief.
What did you drop?
I just dropped my top from my bottle of water on the floor.
Well, don't knock over your bottle of water then.
Oh boy, I'll just keep it in my lap. Yes, right, that was me, Mini-Memo again.
I dropped my water, but don't worry. But you
I'll just drink it up off the floor.
But you were supposed to be going back to the Shoyu News offices after our meeting.
But the scoop is, I didn't. Because that English woman's words had piqued my journalistic interest.
Miss Brett's words?
A criminal, left to do as she pleases, just because she happened to be a British citizen? It's horse dung! The country's judiciary is rotten to the core! Oh, he might be a hero. But then again...
He did call himself one.
I mean, that is true. The Supreme Court's rulings aren't worth the paper they're written on. The police are just imperial pawns.
I mean, there is some modicum of truth to that.
Nah,
Stay your tongue, young man! These are complex political issues.
You're just being pushed around. Well, anyway, I quickly jotted down those words she said in my memo pad. Are you ready? I'll read it out. It's all here. Right, here goes. I should like to go with everyone to see your country's coast. A serious criminal going on some junket. Junket?
Junket?
That's weird. I don't know what a junket is. The people need to know about this. That's why I decided to sneak after them.
That's 2 pencils he's crushed now and thrown to the floor.
Darn, I'm running out of pencils. To get to the woman's story so I could hammer her in the press.
If only he had his pen. Too bad it's with us instead.
Do you mean to say that you did indeed witness it firsthand? The grim scene portrayed in this photograph? Ugh! My nerves! Oh, yes! I saw it with my very own journal eyes!
What else is a little horse dung? The fact he saw it.
No, of course not. I saw it, honest, from start to finish to the viewfinder of my trusty camera.
I'm just watching the animation.
Good grief, he's so animated. He's just like Sosuke.
Exactly.
Thank you, Mini Memo-san. You will now give a formal testimony before the court. You will state exactly what it is that you witnessed of the events surrounding Miss Brett's death. Well, here we go. What did you see? The beach hut was made of shoddy old reed screens, so there were plenty of gaps I could see inside through.
There were gaps, huh?
Okay. I mean, that makes sense because of the picture, but let's see. The English woman was sitting on a stool when the student girl came in and started arguing with her. Ugh. Seconds later, the girl pulled out a knife, throwing the English woman to the floor as she stabbed her in the back.
Did she? Did she throw
I...
to the floor?
That's two different stories, so I don't know what you're talking about.
She threw her to the floor. If she was in front of her, how in the... Okay, sure, whatever.
That's weird. My smoldering Jordo spear burst into flames. Quick as a flash, I whipped up my camera and was ready to click. I pulled apart the rough weave of one of the screens and poked the lens through for the perfect shot. Alright.
Read screens, you say?
Right. You can see them clearly enough in the... Good grief, hold on, let me try that again. Right, you can see them clearly enough in that great shot I snapped. The hut walls were just screens made of coarsely woven reeds. Yes. It allows the breeze to pass through and bring some relief from the summer heat. And it was a breeze for me to poke my camera through and see the whole thing hotting up.
Ignoring for the time being the appalling invasion of privacy involved, did you witness everything that happened from the moment the defendant entered the hut?
Oh yes, I saw it. I saw the whole thing from start to finish.
And you say that you took the photograph through a gap in one of the screens.
Luckily for me, they were pretty shoddily woven. I almost read that as I puked the reeds apart. I pulled the reeds apart and then thrust the lens off my camera through the gap. Ugh. Would I get away with it? Or what have you seen? It was the gamble of a lifetime.
A tenacity of purpose that's considered admirable in a journalist, I suppose.
Run a risk one day, run a scoop the next. That's the mini memoism in a nutshell. At last, it would appear we have a genuine witness to this wicked crime. The evidence and testimony are extremely compelling. I believe we may be close to a verdict.
No! Yes! Wonderful news, Your Excellency! Wonderful!
Stop kissing up to my butt.
Nevertheless, it cannot be denied that this testimony begs one very large question. What question? Exclusive news. A startling photograph. All the makings of an exceptional story for the reporter. Why, then, was the story never published? Oh! That's right! It seems clear to me that there are some circumstances at play here that are yet to be understood. Ha! More pathetic excuses!
Very well then, Counsel. Proceed with your cross-examination.
Yes, Your Excellency. There's more to this reporter than meets the eye. He must be a transformer. He's keeping something about this case very close to his chest.
I need to stop doing that. Oh,
it hurts so good, though.
I love the sting.
He's my favorite wrestler. Well, so we need to push this. So.
Oh, he's got ink on his hand.
Yeah. Do you swear before this court that you actually saw the precise moment when the stabbing took place?
Ha! The precise moment? I didn't see just that. I saw the whole hellish scene play out from start to finish.
I have here a simple plan of the beach hut. It's crazy we don't throw these things out earlier, but whatever. Perhaps you could use it to explain to the court exactly what you witnessed. Yeah, sure, that's what he wants to do.
Right you are. It's all here in my mini memo pad.
Say that 3 times fast. Good night.
Mini memo... Good grief, nope.
Oh,
Can't do
that
it.
was great.
Yeah. Good job, 10 out of 10. When I first peered into the hut, I'm sure that the English woman was on the stool at the back of the hut here.
Okay, that does track so far.
Okay.
Yes, the accused's own testimony confirmed that. She just sat at the back of the hut, smiling sweetly, is what I have noted down.
It's my turn to testify now. Try not to interrupt.
Oh, excuse me.
Mr. High and Mighty. Then, the next moment, as I was watching, the evil student girl entered the hut. After a while, the pair of them ended up in the middle of the hut, arguing fiercely. The English woman went for the student, but the girl dodged out of the way.
Okay, so that puts Ray behind Giselle, near the back.
Okay. And then a flash plunged the knife into her adversary's back as the two passed each other. What you described is a grim crime indeed. Never sugarcoat the truth. That's what many memoism says. Okay.
By the way, Memo-san, whilst you were watching that terrible scene unfold before your eyes with the gap in the screen, did it not occur to you to try to prevent the tragedy, rather than capture it on film?
Journalists have to be observers. We can't get involved. That's our brazen
It's French, I can't help you.
I don't know.
So you didn't converse with Miss Brett at all?
Obviously not. An observer always remains on the outside looking in.
And that's something to be proud of, is it?
You could have stopped him.
Your Excellency, if I may.
Yes, Professor.
I think the witness's last expertly phrased statement should perhaps be added to his formal testimony. Father, what are you...
I will grant the defense's request.
So, what his statement is that he didn't get involved at all. However, we know that is not true. What's the one thing that we kept frickin' pointing out every single time we saw that picture? That
mother fluffing pen.
Right, and whose pen is it?
That's his. Writing many memoism. Many memo.
So, if he didn't get involved, how in the world did Miss Giselle Brett get a hold of his fancy fountain pen?
That is true.
Tut tut.
Many memo, son. You will supplement your formal testimony with the aforementioned statement. Well, is that nihilism or is it nihilism? Okay. I never know how to pronounce that one.
Nihilism!
Nihilism is the foundation of many memoism, but I'll gladly prove that my words are meaningless.
I think they're meaningless, mostly.
I never once set foot in the hut, nor spoke with the Englishwoman. I was there only as an observer.
Well, sorry, dude, but,
You kinda got something right there.
We both... Objection! No, that's not true.
Dude.
Memo-san, until now, I've had a firm belief that newspapers are in the business of uncovering and publishing the truth.
They're spot on there. The press doesn't lie, which is why I'm proud to wear the emblem of the Shoyu News on my arm.
Oh, it's funny you have that emblem, because that emblem's the same as a pen!
Oh, what? No, of course not. In a way, that's more mini-memoism.
Sadly, though, it seems the journalists who write for those papers don't always share the same passion for the truth. What are you suggesting with those recriminatory words, Counsel? Mini-Memo-san, do you recognize this fountain pen? For a second I thought he was gonna be like, no.
Never seen it before in my life.
This pen was found at the scene of Miss Brett's death.
Nuh-uh.
In fact, the murdered victim was gripping it in her hand as she died.
What are you?
If you look at the barrel of the pen, you'll notice that its owner's initials are engraved there. R.M. Yes, thank you for bringing that up, Counsel. The initials of the accused, Ray Membami. It is a coincidence. Or is it? That your initials are also RM? No!
Yeah.
Right 10 mini memo. RM.
That's horse dung. Can't you see one of the central tenets of the mini-memoism is being a pencil user?
I think you're using because you don't have your gosh darn pen!
Bruh.
And yet, as the court will clearly be able to see, on your right hand, which you mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
there's a very obvious blue ink stain. It would appear that you must be rather It would appear that you must have rather carelessly left it somewhere recently. Your favorite fountain pen, that is.
Horsey horse dung.
Mini Memo-san, is it not the case that before she died, you met with Giselle Brett in the beach hut?
Objection!
Why should we listen to this absurd nonsense? It's nothing but another excuse.
Shut up, Baldy. Exactly.
I'm not completely bald, you shut up.
Show you news will stand behind me all the way. I deny everything.
No, I think you're right with that not. Will not stand behind me. Not after this, they're not.
Uh-oh. I mean, no, of course they will. There must be as many people with the initials RM as there are stars in the sky.
Don't worry, we have the emblem.
Hmm.
The defense has neither the time nor the inclination to count every star in the sky.
Hmm.
And there's no need anyway, because this pen has more to tell. Yes, there is another clue. A clue that undeniably proves who its owner really is. I'll laugh if he's like, well, that symbol, obviously Rayman Bomb is a part of our journalistic crew.
Yeah, look at the clothes she's wearing. There's gotta be a symbol on there somewhere. Please. In that case, Counsel, the defense will now show the court where this alleged clue lies.
Of course, Your Excellency.
Alright.
The clue in this fountain pen that clearly reveals its owner's identity is...
Right there.
Oopsie. I meant to hit X, not A.
Oh, I forgot that you had to press another button for that. I would have pressed A as well. I was like, yeah, right there.
But you think it'd be useless because we've been doing this for a while now, but... As well as the initials, there is also an emblem on this fountain pen. An emblem that you will of course recognize, Mini Memo-san.
Goodness me, it's the emblem of the Show You News.
I just realized Show You News is Show You News. We
Oh.
show you the news. Wow.
Ew.
Can't believe it
Okay.
took me now to figure that out. In other words, the owner of this pen is an employee of the Show You News, whose initials are RM. Suddenly the stars in the night sky don't seem so numerous, do they? Well, Mini Memo-san, how do you respond?
No! Shut up. Display yourself, witness. I can't, my hair's over my... So, this is how the mighty Supreme Court works, is it?
With facts and logic, yes.
using coercive tactics to have well-meaning citizens reveal harmless secrets.
I've used nothing but honest tactics.
Alright then. Fine. I won't try to hide anymore. Yes, not long before that grim tragedy unfolded, I, a Show You News reporter, on behalf of the public, conducted an interview with the Englishwoman.
Oh, did you? An interview? You never mentioned this before! When exactly was this?
As I said, it was before the evil student girl showed her face in the hut. It could have lasted more than 2 or 3 minutes, that's all. It was just a brief exchange.
Really? Did you write any of it down?
But it came to nothing, and as we many memoirs say, the people don't pay their dues for unworthy news.
Ah yes, as we many memos say, you know, all one of you.
No, there's more. Somewhere.
Somewhere out there, maybe?
Please. However insignificant you deem it to be, the court cannot overlook the meeting between yourself and the victim. You will testify now under oath about the precise nature of this meeting and what transpired. Got it. Yes, alright. But on one condition.
Under no conditions, sir.
You gotta be completely on it. You can't do that. In all good conscience, I cannot speak out alone about this. You need to call back the earlier witness, Sosuke Natsume-san.
Sosuke-san?
Oh yes, according to my notes here, that man has a secret of his own, and brace yourselves, because it's not a harmless one, it's big.
I mean, everyone has secrets. What?
Yeah.
What?
But everyone's entitled to have their own secrets. Many memoism states that one man's secret is every other man's front page story. That's...
I think you're retooling one man's junk as another person's treasure.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Very well, I'll grant the witness request in this instance. Officers, summon the earlier witness back to the stand.
Sosuke-san, hiding something?
Yeah, but he shouldn't have to testify. That's not relevant to this case. At least I don't think.
He's looking a little nervous now.
I asked the English woman for an interview, but she declined, so I left the hut without making a fuss. Then, watching secretly from outside, I saw the woman being stabbed and the other witness come running. The detective realized that the victim still had a pulse, so he ran off to fetch help. That's when this writer man here asked the woman a very significant question.
Oh, did he?
He didn't say anything about that in his testimony, which is why many memoirs and demands I reveal it now. I don't think he has to say it, should he? You mean to say the victim?
The victim regained consciousness? And when she did, you decided to ask her a question? That's, true. Yes.
He did, and that's not all. The woman gave him a very definite answer. An answer that incriminates the accused.
Oh, really? This is preposterous! Why am I only hearing about this now? Why didn't you mention this before, you yokel hack? It wasn't even a conversation! Yes, I did pose a withering English Rose a question. I don't deny it. But she could no longer speak. She was barely conscious, even.
Counsel for the defense, I expect a thorough cross-examination to be conducted here.
What a mess.
This course must and will know the truth.
Absolutely, Your Excellency. The reporter is claiming that Miss Brett implicated Ray somehow? What on earth could have happened in that hut?
That is weird.
Well, we
So,
do need to press a statement, and, well, it's probably the ones that have to do with,
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, let's Soski and Miss Britt. Okay.
What question? What exactly did he say?
Well now, you should hear that from the horse's mouth, I think. Don't you, Mr. Rider Man?
Ah! Out with it, you yokel hack! What did you say to her? What did you say to the dying Englishwoman? Well, in truth, I'd been catching crabs at the water's edge and building castles in the sand, you see.
Well, the seaside is a place to be at leisure, I suppose. Even for a grown man.
But then all of a sudden, from that little beach hut, a young girl's panic-stricken cries for help pierced the air! Right. I ran up the beach to see what was happening, to find the defendant leaning over the collapsed victim. As soon as Inspector Hosonaga saw Miss Brown on the ground, he sprinted off to get help. And then, just a moment later, I heard a faint moan. A moan from the dead Englishwoman. I nearly jumped out of my skin! But what did you ask her, Sosuke-san? I asked her, who did this to you? Huh.
Don't protract this any longer. How did the woman respond?
She didn't! She said nothing in response! But what? If there's...
Jeez. When in the stand, you will answer the questions asked of you unambiguously. Oh, unambiguously. Now, without evasion or what's it? Reticence. Okay. Or reticence, I demand that you amend your testimony.
I will! She replied, lifted a trembling finger, and pointed in the direction of the defendant. Hold on. Wait.
Okay.
Hold on. Okay. Keep in mind, the defendant is behind her.
Okay, so when he came in here, there's no way that she could have been pointing at her then. Because he was behind her pulling up the knife, right?
Look at the beginning here. That's when. So he asked for an interview. She said no, and he left. Then the woman was being stabbed, according to him, and other witnesses came running. Being stabbed, other witnesses came running. The detective realized the victim saw a pulse, so he ran off to fetch for help. The problem is, we don't know where exactly Ray really was here.
Well, the thing is, if she was still alive, she still would have been like either on the side of her, like pulling the knife out, or
well, we don't
like,
know where she was though.
Oh.
Miss Brett pointed a finger at the defendant. Sasuke-san, is that really true? It's not easy to stand here and say this, but when we first entered the beach hut, the Englishwoman was sprawled on the floor before us, with the student girl standing on the far side of her. Okay, so that tracks. And when I asked who did this to you, she was pointing behind her. Which... Englishwoman summoned her last ounce of strength to point a trembling finger at the back of the hut.
Okay, but...
Which was, it can't be denied, in the direction of the student girl who stands accused today.
Yeah, but he could have been pointing like beside her or something.
She was pointing behind.
No. Sosuke-san, why on earth did you neglect to mention this in your original testimony?
But fiddlesticks, I say! Hey, you can use that one.
Okay. This is not a British court of law. You will respond in Japanese.
Yes, of course. The Englishwoman did point her finger towards the back of the hut, but I was trembling, and she was trembling. and everything was a blur. Thinking about it, I feel as though perhaps she was pointing in a slightly different direction. Actually, no! Not slightly! In a very different direction to a student girl was standing. Dude, get your testimony right, for frick's sake! To somewhere at the back of the hut, where nobody was standing at all! She was stabbed by a ghost.
Oh, okay.
You mean that the memory of events and the direction in which the victim was pointing are both unclear? Yes,
Come on,
that's
bro.
it. Unclear. I'm very, very unclear. Your Excellency, surely this proves that matter beyond all reasonable doubt. Yes, the woman may barely have been conscious, and yes, perhaps her finger wavered slightly, but there can be no doubt that this was an attempt by the victim to confirm the identity of her assailant. Why? Because the court can see, there was no one other than the accused in the direction the victim was pointing. It is now abundantly clear that no one besides the accused could possibly have committed this crime.
I am inclined to agree. And in the absence of any credible argument to the contrary, I believe we can now conclude this trial. No!
No! No!
The headline's writing itself. Dashing Laura's Hopes Dash. 92 point across the whole page. We'll do an extra edition.
Hey, but why was she holding his pen, though?
Yeah,
That still wasn't answered.
that is true.
This is a serious blow, Susato. Unless we're able to identify the true culprit and substantiate our claim with evidence, the judge will give his ruling, and the trial will be over. But that's impossible, Father. We don't even know how the crime was committed yet. Impossible though the task may seem, we have no choice. We must think back over everything we've learned thus far.
She's still holding the pen. Let's go back to that.
Somewhere in all those details, I'm confident we'll find the clue we need. Ray gave us her account of how events unfolded in the defense antechamber before the trial resumed. She told us what happened at the precise moment Miss Brett was killed.
Okay. The English one was still sitting in the back of the hut, listening to what I was saying. And a moment later, she suddenly got to her feet before collapsing on the floor in front of me, with a knife in her bag.
So the thing that we have to think about is, Ray, according to her, did not even touch Miss Brett, so she could not have thrown her, which means she was staying in front of her, and then she walked behind her to get the knife out of her back.
Exactly. So somebody, because we also have to remember the reeds that make up the little hut. It
Have
said
spaces in them.
yeah. So
Yep.
now if a camera could get through there, a knife could also get through there pretty
Easily.
good as well. Yeah. So, and the only person that was sticking sticking something through there was like Mini Memo-san.
How can Miss Brett have been stabbed in the back in a beach hut that was empty but for herself and Ray? Somewhere amid all the information we've gathered so far, there must be an answer to that question.
I take it then the defense has nothing further to add.
So, the gallant yokel student's luck finally runs out. I can't say I'm surprised.
In that case, I am ready to deliver my final verdict on the matter.
This is a crucial turning point now. If I can't establish what really happened, it's over. Where was the real culprit hiding? And how did he or she stab the victim?
Well, we know how.
Objection!
Dang, that was really confident, Patu.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Well, usually you're like, I think, or something at the end, but no, you were like, yeah, we know.
yeah, this is open shut.
Yeah. Your Excellency, I respectfully ask you to postpone your education for the time being. Adjudication, whatever.
Oh? To what end, counsel?
The defense would like to present the court with an alternative theory. An alternative theory that can explain who the victim was actually trying to implicate with her dying gesture.
Objection!
An alternative theory? Ha! None exists.
Objection!
there was someone else present at the scene who could have committed the crime. What? And the victim, Miss Brett, tried to reveal who it was to those around her at the time by mustering all her remaining strength and pointing a trembling finger in the killer's direction. This is fiction! Fantasy!
Well, of course, we're all in a fantasy game.
No.
That's the point. Oh, okay. Very well. As you seem so sure of yourself, Counsel, I'm prepared to hear your alternative theory. So, young Ryotaro Naruhodo.
Yes, that's me.
You are very handsome.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. You will present your latest theory to the court by means of this plan. At the moment the victim was stabbed, where exactly are you proposing the culprit was concealed?
Well, we know where the culprit has to be.
Yeah.
Naruhodo-san would never give up, and I'm a Naruhodo now. The true culprit who fatally stabbed Miss Brett was concealed in this location here.
Are you mad, Counsel? You're suggesting the culprit was outside the hut.
Yeah. Duh.
Yeah. Like, come on now.
What? I mean, Mene Memo said himself, there's a lot of space in those reeds.
Right. So how in the world are you guys surprised about that?
But student lawyer Naruhodo-san is squire. That makes no sense at all.
You just pointed out the exact spot where I was hiding to get my scoop snap.
Yeah, dummy.
Funny how that happens, huh?
Weird, huh?
Yeah, but I didn't see any suspicious individuals loitering about. I can swear to that.
There was no mirror around him.
Of course not.
Obviously, if the culprit him outside the hut, there's no way that he or she could have stabbed the victim who was inside the hut.
Bruh, weren't y'all guys paying attention?
No. Actually, Prosecutor Aochi, there is a way.
Shut up.
In point of fact, the defense can provide evidence strongly suggesting that is precisely the way Miss Brett was killed. You're bluffing! You're bluffing, you yokel!
The defense's assertion is clearly too fantastical for the court to comprehend.
Is it?
Apparently it is. I have no reasoning here. I'm just some other entity. You will need to give us more guidance, Counsel. What piece of evidence corroborates your theory that the victim was stabbed from outside the hut?
So, what is it, Patu?
I mean, it's the statement that Waska,
Well, it can't be a statement that we can present.
Oh, okay. The picture then, like, from where it was taken.
Oh, this one? The one with the...
Yeah. Yeah, the one with the obvious hole in it.
There's no way a knife could fit through that tiny opening.
Bruh.
Well, I've presented it now. But I haven't the first idea why I chose this piece of evidence.
Counsel, you're suggesting this piece of evidence bears out your theory as to how the victim was stabbed?
It's something of a windfall, Your Excellency. Oh, we chose the wrong thing.
Oh.
I think the word you were looking for, Counsel, was downfall. If your theory is correct, and the knife was thrust into Miss Brett's back from the outside the hut, there should be a visible trace somewhere. A trace? Yes, on the hut itself. On that idea, I must look at the court record again. Okay.
Okay. Go ahead.
So...
Wait, then, if the picture doesn't show it, then... What else? Oh.
Oh my goodness!
There's a little split right there over the... Oh. Come on.
Of all the things we noticed and looked at, we didn't even notice that.
Christ. The original photograph printed the crime scene.
Yes, it's clearly visible in this print. The trace of the fatal thrust that was delivered from outside the beach hut. Do you take us for fools? There's no hint of any such thing. I'm not sure that everyone present would agree. Someone, at least, appears to have noticed what it is that I'm referring to. I think 2 someones have noticed.
Yeah.
I mean, Sosuke's been shaking this entire time, so it doesn't mean anything.
It's kind of hard to tell with Sosuke. Counsel, once again, I must call on you to be explicit for the court.
She just start dropping F-bombs, like, no, wrong explicit.
No, hold on, stop. What on the photograph is the trace of the stabbing, which you claim took place from outside the hut. Yeah, that giant split, right there.
Yep. Look closely just here. In the screen at the back of the hut, you can see the effects of a blade having been forced through the reeds. No, I can't! I can't see any such thing, I say, sweating like 10 pounds of sweat. It's true that the hut in question had 4 walls, as you'd expect. However, by parting the reeds, a knife blade could easily penetrate them. Okay, here's the thing. We already know how she can be stabbed.
Yep.
However, that does not explain how she was poisoned.
That's true, because she still had the eyes contracted, like,
and the blade is
poisoned.
not poisoned. So
she must have had the poison introduced to her some other type of way then. And the knife was just like a cover for it.
Maybe.
This is extraordinary.
Yes. The true culprit actually stabbed the victim from outside the beach hut. And of everyone present at the scene, there's only one person who could have done that. Only one person who was directly outside the hut when Miss Brett was killed. Right, Many Memo-san. It could only have been you.
No!
This preposterous idea leaves me almost speechless. Just look at the photograph again. The victim lies almost exactly in the center of the beach hut, does she not?
Yeah.
Are we to assume, as part of this farcical scenario, that the assailant was a knife thrower?
Dude, he stabbed her, not thrown the knife.
No, of course not. We're not?
No!
I was kind of hoping we would, that'd be funny.
I mean, that would be pretty cool if you ask me.
If you recall the testimony of the defendant about the events just before the victim's death.
Inside the beach hut, I confronted Miss Brett. But she just sat on the stool in the back of the hut, smiling sweetly at me as she knew she was untouchable.
Oh! Horse dung. Having a look at the photograph.
Look at this photograph!
Every time I do it makes me hee. Oh wait, no.
Oh.
The slit in the reed screen
Yoink.
would align perfectly with the back of a person who was sitting on that stool.
My word, so, in fact, the victim was...
Killed while sitting on that stool by a stab wound to her back delivered through the reed screen. Except we're now ruling out poison, which is the thing. Like, obviously, yes, Many Memo did stab her, but the blade is not the thing that delivered the poison. And we don't know what is poisoning her, or where it came from.
Oh, we can also ask ourselves this. If someone was stabbed in the back, would they bleed out, like, immediately, or would there still be, like, a chance to, like, actually save them?
Well, that's the thing. So, the stab wound, it pierced a lung, and it resulted in a fatal hemorrhage. So it would have occurred in minutes. So, yes, she did die from the stab wound. But we don't... That's the thing that's getting me is I can't remember how this works out. Which is good, because that means I can't, like, just go, hee. I wouldn't figure it out. It's like, how was the poison... When was the poison delivered, and how?
Right, because she said, like, she got up and walked towards her, and then she fell.
Wait a minute. That poison.
Yeah?
Do we...
We don't
have information on it. But I remember a thing about the poison. Is that it can either be administered through a wound or through the mouth.
Exactly. But it has to be like from a fresh wound, because that's the only way you can get into your bloodstream.
That's one that Johnny Wilson died from. This one is different.
Oh, okay.
And I think I just remembered a weird fact I picked up on way before.
Oh, the wine.
He poisoned her glass of wine.
So when she drank it,
yeah,
then the poison
entered her mouth.
Effect. Oh,
and then the stabbing occurred very swiftly after, because, like, in the interview, he must have poisoned it. Then he left after he got no information, and then he stabbed her from behind as a cover-up.
Oh, you cheeky
I think
boy.
that might be it. That's the only thing I can think of. I'm still lost as to how she has the pen, but I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah, because it still doesn't make any sense how she has it in the first place.
Ah! Having been attacked, Miss Brett rose to her feet instinctively. But then, unable to speak, she collapsed on the floor in the middle of the hut, before the defendant, Membami-san's appalled eyes. And that, Your Excellency, is the truth of what happened on the beach that day. By your silence, Menimemo-san. I take it that you don't deny the charge. This is absurd!
Oh, no, shut up. That will do. It would appear that we have a tacit admission of guilt from the witness. Accordingly, this court has successfully established the truth of this matter.
Not the entire truth.
Good enough for us. Which means the defendant, Membami-san, is innocent of the crime.
Oh, thank goodness. I finally made him cave. I
don't think it's over just yet.
Well, it can't be over, but here's what I think is going to happen. Someone is going to remember that the poisoning happened, more than likely Prosecutor Aoshi. And he's going to be like, well, she may not have killed Brett, but she might have poisoned her. Because
yeah, but oh yeah, that's true.
They alone, those two, knew about the poison.
Oh.
And they both know it can't be traced unless by a Yume University student, or the university itself. I must say, I've never been more proud. No, this can't be! The Aoshi clan can't! What of my growth? My growth of hope! Please stop calling it that. It wasn't all an apparition! I can't accept this, I won't!
I see no reason for the continuance of this trial. I will therefore move to conclude proceedings, but... What the... Well, this is all very convenient. This is how the highest court of our mighty empire delivers justice, is it? Suppressing well-meaning citizens' freedom to speak and branding them as criminals.
Well, you did stab her. But
you didn't say anything either.
We've established that the victim was stabbed from outside the hut, through the raid-screened walls. And no one but you was in place at the time to have his hand on the hilt of the blade. It's a perfectly logical deduction.
So, your argument hinges on the location of whoever stabbed the Englishwoman, does it? Well, it seems a little irrelevant now.
Irrelevant?
Where she was stabbed. How she was stabbed. It doesn't matter. I mean, whether she was stabbed at all makes no difference, if you think about it. After all... This trial's already shown the whole thing hinges on something else.
Looks like he remembered the poison.
Yeah, but now we know where it is, so that doesn't matter still.
We don't know where it is.
Wait, it wasn't in the wine?
Well, I mean, yeah, but I'm saying, like, no one else... I mean, I'm assuming it's in the wine. That, or it's on the pen somehow, and the pen uses a stabber, but we already know the knife is the thing that got... Yeah, it's like, it's just...
I don't know. Well, we'll have to see how it goes then. Brace yourself, little man. I'm talking about the fact that everything's changed. Because of the dirt you dug up.
What?
Enough obscurity. Explain yourself, witness. What's to explain? I'm talking about the poison, of course.
The... poison?
Let's ask the professor for a comment of the situation, shall we? I understand that a deadly poison you were developing was stolen from your laboratory, correct? And it's been shown that the poison was administered to the victim, Miss Britt. Is that right?
That is correct. The unusual constriction of the victim's pupils are a sure sign this particular poison was used.
I see. So, presumably that means that the victim already had the poison in her body before she was stabbed?
Given that her pupils were clearly constricted, it seems highly likely, yes.
Like how he just keeping us calm.
If she had been dead already, the poison could not have been circulated into her blood.
Oh, there he is now.
How refreshing to hear the argument of a metropolitan mind.
Didn't you just call him a yokel?
No, I called, Soski-san.
Oh.
Precisely. It matters not a jot who stabbed whom and whose back and with whose blade. Because, quite simply, the Englishwoman's life was taken not by the knife, but by the poison. Yep. Well, actually, no, but that can be explained by the poison being on the blade, as I know it's the heat of the moment, but...
Sweetie, no.
No, we already know it's not there.
It's gotta be someplace else.
I swear, you say people don't listen, and then all of a sudden you're not listening. So, you've forgotten already, have we, yokel? During these very proceedings, the laboratory the professor at your side assisted in proving that the blade of the weapon used to attack the victim had no trace of poison on it whatsoever.
So let me get this down. The facts, as skillfully established by the defense in this trial, turn out to be the headline-making red herring. Is that about right?
Well...
No, not yet. Order! But where does this leave us?
It leaves us with a whole lot more of a case to figure out, because all of a sudden, uh-oh.
Yeah, how, in that case, did the poison enter the victim's body?
And there's an undeniably obvious answer to that. The lady most likely imbibed it. You mean she drank it? Have another look at the photograph here. As you can see, a ball of carbonated water in her glass has been knocked in his... Man, she's still drinking carbonated water.
Hey, I gotta tell you though, that's pretty good. No, not carbonated water, sparkling water. Or is that the same thing?
It's the exact same thing.
Oh, okay. Sparkling water tastes pretty good. I have
Why
like
it's so plain?
No, not that. I have flavored sparkling water.
Yeah, carbonated water is just water that's carbonated.
Oh, you mean it's just bubbly but has no taste to it?
It has no taste. It's like add carbonation to water, and that's all it is. It's club soda, basically.
Oh,
it's gross.
I'd rather.
Although I might actually like that because I only drink water anyway. A ball of carbonated water in a glass had been knocked on the sandy floor of the beach hut. The poison could have been slipped into either. So somebody made Miss Brett drink it.
Well, what do you know? Look at those dashing eyes. This will make a great front page shot. Hey, Why the bewitching stare? After all, I'm the last person you should be looking at. It would make no sense at all that I poisoned the woman, would it? I mean, that's been established already.
We haven't established a motive. No.
Yeah, why would you say that?
Established? What are you talking about?
Don't tell me you've forgotten. That's a little hard to believe, given that the person who established it was you.
Me? What does he mean?
Ooh, let me capture those wide eyes. This is prime press fodder, this is. It would seem that the trial is not destined to end after all. I hereby call upon the witness to give further testimony. That's great, that is. Let me get a shot of that magnificent beer, Your Excellency. You claim it to be impossible that you were the one responsible for administering the poison to the victim. You explain to the court in your testimony the basis upon which you make such a claim. I'm a journal and I'm a man. I've never tried to run or hide from anything in my life.
Bull hockey.
Sure you haven't. And I'm not about to start now, because that's mini-memoism.
For a brief moment, I thought I'd be illuminated the truth. But it slipped right back into obscurity again. Just where is this trial going to take us?
Don't worry, honey, we'll figure it out.
To the depths of heck. Complete innocence.
Oh,
yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm innocent. Oh yes, I stabbed the Englishwoman. And that is the very fact that... Why would you say it, though?
It means he didn't poison her. It's lesser penalty if he stabs her than if he poisons her. Because it's a poison that killed her. The stabbing is whatever.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's still weird.
He knows he can't get away from a punishment, so now he's going for a lesser punishment.
Oh, alright. Because why would I have bothered to stab the woman if I already poisoned her? When I heard the student girl and the pompous English murderer arguing, it got my goat.
Basically, he'd be, like, accused of, like, attempted murder instead of murder.
Oh, okay. If the court were going to punish Brett for what she did, someone else would have to see justice done.
Ah, yes. Justice. So, you admit it then? That everything happened as I described? That you're the one who stabbed Miss Brett in the back of the read screen?
You can blame this miserable country of ours. A country that bows to the pressure of foreign powers and lets murderers walk free. What kind of future can a country like that have? That's why I did it. I did what our pathetic leaders didn't have the guts to do. Slap bang in the middle of that charming lady's back, I plunged the blade of sweet justice right in there. Oh. As someone who spends his life seeing that the truth is told, I feel really, really awful about giving false information in my testimony before.
Yeah, I bet you do.
Yeah.
And too bad you're lying about the poison too.
No, that one's true. I swear, I promise. But as it turns out, there was somebody else who had it in for the victim and got her before me. Oh, no wonder you sent that picture in anonymously, then.
Mm-hmm.
That's right, you guessed it. The pretty little student girl. Now there's a woman after my own heart.
You're implicating Ray again.
She's the one who gave the poison to the Englishwoman and ended her pitiful existence. Ouch! And suddenly, snap! The journal here is off the hook. The argument is sound, certainly. If the witness had administered the poison himself, he need only have waited for it to take effect. Subsequently, stabbing the victim in the back would have been entirely nonsensical.
and therefore this reporter had nothing to do with the poisoning. Yes, it's all quite logical.
That's right, it is. Logical and true. I'm glad you've all seen the light. What light? Justice at last.
This is unbelievable. And after I made so much progress in proving his guilt, is he going to get away with it now?
Can't let him.
Think of Kazuma-sama and Naruhodo-san. They never stopped looking for a way forward until the judge's final gavel.
That wasn't the final gavel. Very well then, counsel. Proceed with what I assume to be your final cross-examination in this trial. I guess, unless you bring up something else.
Yes, Your Excellency. What a mess.
Jeez Louise. I like how Sosuke's just still up there, though.
Yeah. You hear the singer of the pumping murder? It got your goat, huh?
Okay.
What exactly were they arguing about?
About what happened in that restaurant 9 months ago. That's what. The student girl was laying into the English woman for killing her beloved mentor, Dr. Wilson. Yes, John H. Wilson. A professor of medicine, invited here from England by Professor Mikotoba, no less. Right, but the English woman just jeered.
Her case was to be heard by the British Consular Court in Shanghai. However, there's little doubt that she would simply have been acquitted and sent back to her homeland a free woman.
It was eating that student girl up inside. You could see it. I really felt for her. Huh?
Hmm.
Oh! Oh, she's back. Hey, Ray. I can't stand here and listen to this tripe.
Ray! Young girl, you stand accused here. You can't just blurt out whenever you feel like it.
No, you can't. Sorry, but I'm in the middle of some very important testimony here. Just keep quiet and listen.
Sosuke, what are you doing?
He's just constipated. but this awful man is making all of this up.
We know.
Susato, please. You must make the return to the doctor at once. Bombi-san. We're in the middle of a cross-examination.
Also, who's Susato?
No. This is Ryutaro.
Your Excellency, please, I implore you. That journalist is clearly not a trustworthy witness.
Exactly. He's a filthy, rotten, black-hearted, bigoted, dirty, great peeping Tom. That's a lot of stuff. Whoa, take it easy there.
Please, I really think the court should hear what the defendant has to say. Your Excellency, I see no need whatsoever to entertain the accused's remarks.
I'll grant the cause of the defense.
But Your Excellency!
Shut the fluff up! This is likely to be the final cross-examination of these proceedings.
Shut the fault up.
Fault you. As such, I believe it would be ill-advised to stifle the defendant's obvious concerns. So, whilst recognizing that this contravenes?
Yeah.
Regular protocol, I hereby call the defendant to speak. Oh, thank you so much, Your Excellency. It's nothing to do with Dr. Wilson. We were discussing the stolen poison.
Really? Let's hear more about that, then.
Okay.
The stolen poison that killed the victim, you mean?
I suspected her being the one to steal it. I mean, just think about how she killed Dr. Wilson.
That's true. Additionally, Miss Brett certainly had knowledge of the new poison.
But surely it would be no easy task to steal a highly secret toxin being developed for the government.
Indeed. All visitors to the laboratory thoroughly search when they leave. Even the thief managed to avoid being seen by myself or a colleague. Getting the poison would be very difficult. That's true! I pestered Professor Mikotoba until he agreed to show me the poison when I visited his laboratory. But as I left, I was searched from top to tail! Miss Brett rather bluntly revealed the existence of the toxin developing, you see. And since Sosuke-san expressed interest in it, I felt unable to refuse. Obviously, I gave nothing away, other than the fact that it was an extremely potent substance. I'm very ashamed of myself. It's just that I've had a singularly terrible experience with a deadly poison. I wanted to look my old M in the eye! Surely you can understand that?
To find out if my suspicions were true, I confronted Miss Brett about the poison. I told her that if there were to be an incident involving it somehow, it wouldn't just be the university. The military would be dragged into it. The whole government even. It would be a complete disaster. And how did Miss Brett respond to your concerns? She just curled those beautiful lips of hers and said she didn't know the first thing about it. In English, actually.
Ah, yes. Memo-san, one small question, if you don't mind.
I do mind. Can't you see I'm busy?
Well, be unbusy. Clearly, you were
Fine.
outside the beach hut listening in whilst the defendant and Miss Brett were conversing. Presumably, then, it was you who wrote this article about what you'd heard. Exclusive. Deadly poison stolen from Yale Medical Research Laboratory. The story was published in this morning's edition of Shoyu News. The details are too accurate for it to have been written by anyone else.
Sorry, don't know what you're talking about. Yes, look at this. The entire article. It's almost what I said to Miss Brett, word for word.
Well, Memo-san?
As a journal and as a citizen of a free country, I don't have to reveal my sources. That's founding principle of Memo-ism.
Father's clearly right about this. That reporter did write that article, and he based on what he overheard from outside the hut.
Everything's becoming revealed. So that's what it was all about. You're trying to cover up the fact that you were listening in. That's why you came up with that stinking story about me arguing with her. Shut up! My stories never stink! Look, whatever you say, little girl, it doesn't alter the facts. Your Excellency, there's something I want to say, and I want it to go on record. Very well. You may amend your formal testimony. Getting really worked up. The point is, if you poison someone, there'd be no reason then to go stab the person as well. Okay. Alright.
Onset symptoms occur in minutes, starting with impaired breathing and acute contraction of pupils prior to this toxin. Well, I think that, as we discussed, he did it to cover.
Yeah, that's the thing, like what Miss Brett did with John H. Wilson. Because... Oh.
Well, I can think of one reason.
What?
But before I explain, I'd like you to confirm something for the court. Did you glean all the information for this newspaper article for what you overheard outside the hut? Of course he did! There can be no question of that! After all, when we were all in the laboratory together, all we were told is that it was a terrible toxin! And there is one more important fact to consider. According to the witness, Membami-san's verbal attack against the victim began as soon as she entered the hut. In other words, it would have been impossible for her to slip the poison in Miss Brett's drink. Where are you going with this, Counsel? Mini Memo-san made it quite clear that he observed every single thing that happened in the beach hut. If the defendant had somehow found an opportunity, this man would have seen it. Which means that Miss Brett couldn't have imbibed the poison whilst the defendant was present. In fact, it must have been administered to her before Minbami-san entered the hut.
Yes, very accurately put. Articulately put. When I walked into the hut, I immediately started to press Miss Brett about the poison.
At which point, Mini Memo-san overheard some worrying information. Worrying information? What worrying information? The information which he subsequently included in his newspaper article, namely, that the poison was being developed in strict secrecy, and that it couldn't be readily obtained. Absolutely. In fact, that's quite an understatement. The only possible place it could come from is my lab. And furthermore, anyone afflicted by the poison would exhibit telltale signs in death.
The extreme constriction of the pupils. Yes, it's quite stark when you see it. There are other poisons that show similar symptoms, but not among new substances that are undetectable.
In other words, it would be clear the victim's life had been ended by the use of this particular poison, which would reduce the number of suspects to only a handful of people. Everyone in my laboratory is aware of the unique properties of the toxin developing. None of them would be foolish enough to attempt to use it for some nefarious deed. Minbami-san being no exception. Therefore, we can conclude that whoever administered the unique poison to the victim was a layperson, unaware of its telltale properties. In other words, someone like you, Right-Hand Mini Memo.
Oh, hold on. The stream is like catching up. Bird. Hurry up and catch up.
Uh-oh.
It's being poopy doo-doo. Okay, let's see. There's
yeah, you just basically missed Mini Memo just screaming in agony. It was you who stole the poison from the laboratory that day. And it was you who administered it to the unwitting victim. But you quickly realized that was a terrible mistake.
Because the poison caused such unusual symptoms and was so... so good grief. Hold on, let me try that again.
I'm gonna say that was just a bunch of stumble.
But... that's because the thing's like going slow again. Hold on, let me try it again. But the poison caused such unusual symptoms and was so traceable. And it's stuck again.
Is it,
oh, I can't see it.
Is it just buffering like crazy now?
Yeah, it's buffering very weird. I don't know why. I haven't moved or anything. I've just been sitting here.
Let's see here. Let me... That's right, we're fixing technical difficulties in the middle of recording. It's okay. Hashtag deal with it.
It is fine. We'll figure it out.
Let's do this. And then... we'll do this. And then I'll reshare the screen. Okay, try now.
Okay, let me see if I can go back in. Alright, what I see right now is they said as you listening from... okay.
As listening from the far side of the beach hut's thin walls, you learned of these facts. But you'd already given the victim the poison at that point. It was too late. So you hatched a plan to disguise your mistake. A plan that involved stabbing the victim in the back of the read screen. But what good could that possibly do?
Sounds like he's more intrigued than not.
Isn't it obvious, Counsel? The plan was to kill Miss Brett before the poison could take effect. once in the blood. The poison caused the onset of pupil constriction. But he had hoped to precipitate the victim's death before that happened, hadn't he? Exactly. Because without any revealing signs of the new secret poison's use, no one would ever have suspected.
This is extraordinary.
Yes, the effects of the poison meant to be too easily identified, so the killer had to mask its use. Which he attempted to do by plunging a knife in the middle of the victim's back.
Order! 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 The argument presented is sound. The court is satisfied that it warrants consideration. Does the prosecution have a counter-argument it wishes to put forward?
Well, there are a number of... yes! I counter completely!
Objection!
With nothing to counter. The prosecution's evasive response clearly shows that in much the same way as he nurtures the remnants of his top knot, he is clinging to lost hope. Excuse you? Lost hope!
Eh? What? What else could you have to say? Ugh! You pathetic, useless, fallen samurai!
Fallen? Who are you calling fallen? My bursting growth is...
I don't need a counter-argument!
But you cut me off.
I'm starting to feel bad for him.
What are you talking about?
It should be blatantly obvious! I stole the poison, you say. Gave it to the victim, you say. Stabbed her, you say. Lots of fine theories.
But hey, that's just an idea.
A game idea. But I don't need a counter-argument because you don't have an argument yourself. Where's your evidence? Yes, you make it all sound so plausible, don't you? But without evidence, it means nothing. Whereas I base my news on facts.
Okay.
I don't. Facts? What do you mean? Explain yourself. I mean what the professor said earlier in this trial. It's all here in my mini memos. Get it? Mini memo. Every word, every slip of the tongue, all noted. That's what the show news is famous for. It's the power of the printed word. Surely it would be no easy task to steal a highly secret toxin without being developed by the government.
Indeed. All of his laboratory are thoroughly searched when they leave. Even a thief managed to avoid being seen by myself or a colleague. Getting the poison would be very difficult.
How's that then? Blowing the story wide open? See, I, writing mini memo, a mere reporter from the Shoyu News, could possibly have stolen the poison from the professor's laboratory.
Ah! There
You
can't
stuck
be
it
any
up your
question
butt.
of it. He must have stolen the poison that day. He stole it and used it to... Wait. Hold on. I think I know how he stole it.
Wait, but how?
Tell me, where is ink stored in a pen?
It's inside of it. There's like a little tube in there.
Right. So, what if he replaced the ink? If we take out the pen's lid...
Okay.
Now let's unscrew the barrel, shall we? This must be the little reservoir that holds the ink. Yes, you fill it by drawing ink from a bottle through the nib. Is something wrong, Father? Just there doesn't actually appear to be any ink in there. That's all. And think, why is there so much ink on his hand?
Oh, he must have spilled it on himself while he was trying to, like, pour it inside the... Oh.
He had to dump it out to put the poison in.
Okay.
Oh yes, you're right. It's pretty much empty. Well, it could be on the verge of running out, I suppose.
Oh, that means we can actually use the other thing as well. Can we, like, later on? Yeah, like, not now, but...
He stole and used it to kill. And if that's the case... As you've identified, the poison itself is the definitive evidence we need. Because whoever stole it from the laboratory that day is the true culprit here.
What's your point, you annoyingly handsome country bumpkin? So freaking handsome.
My point is this. There is one way that you, Memo-san, could have stolen the poison that day.
I've heard enough verbal conjecture now, thank you. But the court must be shown as evidence.
We have it now.
What proof do you have that the witness stole the poison on the day in question? Little freaking pen.
The proof, Your Excellency, is this fountain pen.
A fountain pen? How can that possibly be relevant?
These magical pens somehow seem to have enough ink to write many thousands of kanji characters. I believe they arrived in our country the first time some 15 years ago now. Bah! I swear I buy a weasel hair calligraphy brush and nothing else. These newfangled pens are merely a fad. Yeah, a fad. They'll never catch on. Well, as a forward-thinking man of words, obviously I love my fountain pen. Suck up as a soup cone of sumptuous ink, and once work as a wash with words in the blink of an eye. That's right. Fountain pens have a small reservoir on the barrel, into which ink is sucked up through the nib of the pen in order to write with later. What does all this talking of sucking up ink have...
Oh.
And just as it's possible to suck up ink into the reservoir, it's also possible to eject it to the nib again, of course. All this talk of sucking and ejecting is making me very weird.
This makes me think of getting a slushie later. But my word, can this really be?
Well, Memo-san? When you saw the deadly poison before your eyes in the laboratory that day, you used your fountain pen, your very lifeblood, to steal some of it, didn't you? By siphoning the poison up through the nib into the pen's reservoir. More absurdity! That never happened! True. We've heard there are procedures in place to prevent thefts like this in the laboratory. But would anyone have thought to look inside a fountain pen of all places? No. I'm a little ashamed to say that for fear of offending our guests, such a detailed search would not have been conducted.
Well, this is quite startling, I must say. I've got to pee.
You what?
Oh, I said what? Oh, I'm doing the mascot the dance. Oh.
I remind the court this pen was found in the clutches of the victim when she died. In other words, it was dropped at the scene by Memo-san. So the crucial question is, when exactly was the pen dropped?
Are you suggesting?
When exactly was the soap dropped? The natural conclusion is that in your haste to act whilst the victim was distracted for a moment, you dropped the pen after you emptied the poison from it into her glass. There could be any number of alternative explanations. For example, the witness could have been using his pen to write down details of his conversation with the victim. And when shocked by one of her outrageous answers, the pen fell from its quivering hand. Objection! No, that can't be. If it was, how did it explain why the pen was devoid of ink? What?
Oh.
As you can see for yourself if you examine the evidence, there would appear to be no ink present in the reservoir.
No.
What newspaper reporter goes to interview someone without noting his pen? No. The pen was dropped after the poison that filled its reservoir had been emptied into the victim's glass.
Witness, what do you have to say in your defense? So this is how a modern justice system works, is it? So what if the ink of my pen runs dry? So what if the pencil snaps? I can always claw my way back into the game. I have plenty in reserve. Ah! Whoa! Hey, watch it! You claim I suck? I mean, you claim I suck the poison out into my pen? That's some wild speculation, nothing more. If you thought that you could bring down a fine, upstanding citizen with a trick like that, think again.
It looks as though it's going to take one final decisive blow to finish this matter.
As I see it, the situation is now very simple. It rests upon whether or not the witness did indeed steal the poison on the day in question. And therefore, it all depends upon whether or not the defense can prove that he did with evidence. Ha! No such evidence could possibly exist.
Mini Memo-san, this is how our modern justice system works.
What?
In the courtroom, evidence is everything. Something you would do well to remember. Because we are well past the point of speculation at this stage, I assure you.
Very well then. I call upon the defense to present the aforementioned evidence.
This is it then. This will be the final piece in the puzzle. The defense can prove, by means of this item, that it was a witness's pen that was used to steal the poison. Finally.
Yep. Now we can use the chemical... Was it reagent? I forgot how you pronounce it. Yeah, reagent. Counsel, what is this bottle?
This bottle contains a unique chemical reagent that can identify the poison in question. Ah! Yes, that poison is an entirely new synthesis of alkaloids developed by my colleagues and I. It would be impossible to detect traces of it by any other method.
Wait, so it's not Altoids?
Apparently not.
Oh,
Or,
okay.
from another perspective, simply with this chemical reagent, anybody at all could check for traces of poison. Not that poison specifically.
Reagent? What?
One drop of the contents of this bottle on the tip of your fountain pen, Mini Memo-san, is all it will take to solve this case beyond all reasonable doubt. And only the tip.
No, you can't. I won't. Your crimes are bad enough, but at least know when to admit defeat.
Your Excellency, the defense requests permission to carry out the test on the fountain pen at once.
Yeah! Whoa, what the? This isn't my fault! Oh, try to hold it out, so I'm avoiding every...
Yeah, it's fine, he's just,
in the front of the pen. I was tirelessly in the name of justice for Viggy memo. Sato, with me!
I'm there!
Did I do it right? That was the Susato takedown, wasn't it?
Not quite. That was a Ryutaro takedown. Let's look at what he was saying back here. Let's see. So, it's not his fault. The Empire drove me to do this, trying to hold its head as high as civilized nation, bowing its head to every foreign power's whim, took up arms, and he fought of news, justice, yeah. The instant the first drop of the reagent touched the nib of the fountain pen, it was clear to everyone present.
He looks so defeated.
Good.
When I saw it there in the lab, the poison, the devil got hold of me and I decided to do it on a whim.
Oh, please, not the devil made me do it nonsense.
I couldn't help it. The devil made me do it. He only whispers. If you act, that is your fault. I excused myself and emptied all the ink down in the sink in the bathroom, washing the reservoir out carefully.
And then you waited for an opportunity to suck up some of the poison, didn't you? Into your fountain pen.
Yes, that's right.
Answer me one thing, Mini-Memo-san. Why did you steal it? For what purpose?
I don't know. To murk Miss Brett. Isn't it obvious? To find out what it was made of and expose it in an article. I mean, it was a secret project after all. Too juicy for a journal like me to pass up.
Then why'd the Englishwoman end up dead?
I went into that hut intending to quiz her on the situation, that's all. As a reporter. A known killer, enjoying full freedom, evading justice by leaving the country. I told her what I thought about it. And she just laughed in my face!
Oh, what's this? A Far Eastern caveman purporting to practice journalism? Really, you must learn the difference between reporting and listening at doorways, you ignorant plebeian.
What did you call me?
This country, with its pretensions to a justice system, to a free press, it's really very depressing. You see, our superior ways in the West, yet you lack the mental capacity to emulate them. Get out of here, you oaf. Get out, and crawl back into the cave you came from.
That's what I remembered. About the deadly poison I happened to have in my pen at the time.
She called me Stinky, so I wanted her dead.
Yeah, no one hurts my feelings, get away with it. Now you must die. What a terrible tale. In my head, I knew I should just get out of there as quick as possible. But I couldn't. I couldn't let her get away with what she'd done. Well, she clearly had no remorse at all. I suppose it was my journal spirit getting all fired up.
I'd like to ask you something.
Yes.
You often talk about justice. But surely as a journalist, you could have used other means to deliver the justice you sought.
There's no justice in the press.
Sorry?
After that trial 9 months ago, I kept digging and digging to find out what had happened in the courtroom. And finally, I discovered the truth. It was a cover-up! That's what it was!
A cover-up? What do you mean?
I will remind you of your position, witness. Be careful of what you say. Oh, come on! Doesn't it strike you as strange? We're certainly not allowed to convict a foreign national. Consular jurisdiction should never have come into it. And yet that puffed up English one was going to sail away into the sunset a free woman. The only possible explanation is that behind the scenes, some deal had gone down between Britain and Japan. Yeah.
What sort of deal?
I'd done my research, dug up all the dirt. It was all ready to be published. But you know what happened? The editor just tore the article up. Oh.
You came under pressure from the government, you mean?
If our government is going to let criminals walk free, If they're going to crush the free press, then what choice do I have but to see that justice done myself?
Let's not forget, Minimimo-san, that you committed murder yourself, and you tried to lay the blame on the defendant's door. I'm sorry, but you're no better than Giselle Brett.
What?
The truth is, you have no right to talk about justice at all.
I suppose. It would appear that we have reached a conclusion in this trial at last. Counsel for the defense, Ryutaro Naruhodo.
Oh! Yes. Sorry, Your Excellency. Just musing in a manly way here.
It's almost unbelievable that this is your first experience with the Supreme Court. It was excellent. It was an excellent performance. In truth, it very much reminded me of your cousin's exploits.
Oh! Naruhodo Ryunosuke, you mean?
The way you handled the trial 9 months ago, and the way you handled this one. It gives me hope that we are generally entering a new era of justice in this land.
That's very flattering, Your Excellency.
Hearing the defense you put forward today made me feel most keenly that the future in our justice system will be forged by you and your what is that?
Contemporaries.
Oh, contemporaries. Okay.
Thank you.
So, Prosecutor Aochi, do you have any final thoughts?
I hate it here.
Okay. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Prosecutor Aochi? I, Taksuchi of the Aochi clan, have been bested by a callow youth not once now, but twice. If there was any shred of my former self left, it has withered and died here today. Gosh, your journey to cultural enlightenment sure took a while, didn't it? Silence! Rather than living on in shame, I will end it all now with this blade. For that is a true path to Aochiism! Aochiism? One hopes there's the only way in which he'll be modeling himself for the witness. Sprig of my topknot, the time is right for farewell. Hope is lost forever. Takatsuchi.
Dang, everyone's getting into the moment for this one piece of hair. Oh, Hasuna came back. Ah, that's redonkulous. Now, in regard to the defendant, Rei Minbami-san. Yes, Your Excellency? I have reached my final verdict. I hereby find you not guilty.
Woo!
Sorry, we don't have fireworks, but you can have cherry blossom.
That'll work. It's like confetti.
Yeah, you can dip it in your tea.
Yeah.
Alright. Court is adjourned.
Now everyone get out of here.
Yeah, that's lunch.
It's over. My heart is still pounding in my chest, though. It's all I can do just to stay standing. Lives of such great responsibility. Such a great burden to bear. don't they, Naruhodo-san?
Susato! Oh, I don't know who this one is.
It's
oh,
probably
okay.
Ray.
Oh, thank you so much. You were so dashing in there.
Ray! And Father!
Honestly, I'm so touched by everything you've... Oh no, I think I'm going to cry.
It wasn't easy, but together we made it. I was on the verge of tears at the end, too.
The only reason I'm still here is because of you.
Oh no, I can't take all the credit. It took courage to tell the truth in there. You did wonderfully, Ray. So I'd have to say that congratulations belong to you.
Oh, Susato, don't be so standoffish.
Sorry?
We're friends, equals, and the trial's over, so no more of this formal super humility nonsense. It's time to celebrate with swagger, to throw caution to the wind.
Caution to the... what?
I'm the great defense lawyer, Ryotaro Naruhodo, and I'm taking you out to the milk bar tomorrow. Or something.
Right, I see. I'll, think about it, Ray.
I want to go to the milk bar. Do they serve chocolate and strawberry? At any rate, we really knocked the wind out of the heart, man, and it felt so good.
I also just said you're too young to go to a bar. Kind of forgetting that you have a little bit of age on me.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I could go to a bar anyway.
Yes, it was satisfying.
It really was. Isn't there anybody else we could throw together?
Sorry, Naruhodo's over in Great Britain.
Mikotoba's too old for that.
I've been looking at me, Ray.
Oh, my goodness! No, of course not! Of course not!
Ah, there it is at last. Ray's lovely smile. You fought for your friend to the very last. As your father, I'm extremely proud of you, Defense Attorney Ryotaro Naruhodo. Thank you. But I couldn't have done it without your help. Anyway, it's time to bid farewell to Ryotaro, I think. I shall miss him in a way, but it's back to Susato Mikotoba now.
So, I'll never see him again then. What a terrible shame.
What? Oh, it's
Oh.
them. What is happening? Sosuke-san and Inspector Hosonaga. I do hope you've been keeping well. Is that really you? Yes, I had to change my appearance for, well, obvious reasons, I hope. But it's me, Susato Mikotoba. I don't... So dashing, so divine. No! Doubly dashing, yes, and devilishly divine. Just look at you! I had no idea Miss Usato-san Esquire has said you were a locum student Naruhodo-san Esquire's cousin. Astonishing, astounding, ace attorney! Ace attorney!
Hey, there we go.
He said the thing! Poor Sosuke-san. So confused.
I like his posing, it was so cool.
I still remember the first time I ever met him. He was in a prison cell in London. What an extraordinary conundrum it was that the unwilling student from Japan found himself embroiled in. But after Naruhodo-san's skillful defense at the Old Bailey, Sosuke-san was free to return to Japan. And he's not dead, so...
Yeah.
And now he seems to have earned himself great fame as an author. I'm stunned. That's a truly impressive disguise. Even I had no idea, and I'm a chief inspector of the police bureau. Who came up with Mr. Turtle, no less? Oh, you came up with Mr. Turtle? I'm not sure you should be admitting to that, Inspector. Amazing. You're one of many faces I see. Just two, really. And this is a once-in-a-lifetime event. I hope. Oh, I'm not patching you, though, Inspector. Well, I am a professional, of course. I do worry about Inspector Hosonaga sometimes, I really do. 9 months ago, when he appeared here at the Supreme Court to testify, he was undercover, disguised as the head waiter of a restaurant. And then on the steamship to Great Britain, of course, disguised as a sailor to keep us safe on the journey. Well, that didn't help you, did it, Kazuma-sama? From my perspective, I have to admit that I have mixed feelings about all this. I mean, now the two's been lost forever. What do you mean? I'm talking about the murder that Englishwoman committed at the end of last year. Ah, yes! It was an English doctor she killed, as I understand it. Dr. John H. Wilson, yes. The man I invited to Japan personally. The mystery is, why did she kill him? And now the culprit herself is dead. We'll probably never know the answer. On the voyage to Great Britain, we had a most unexpected encounter. With Mr. Herlock Sholmes, the great detective, I mean. Yes, I remember Mr. Sholmes well, of course. Who could forget? My arch nemesis. How likely you utter his name. Well, according to the stories published about him in the Adventures of Herlock Sholmes, the detective once had a partner who helped him solve crimes. A best friend. And that man was an exceptional doctor of medicine by the name of John H. Wilson.
What? Dr. Wilson?
I just can't believe it's a coincidence. I think that the English doctor of medicine killed her here in Japan 9 months ago. It must have been the friend and partner of Mr. Sholmes. And if that's really true, then the poor girl won't ever see her beloved father again.
Iris. Darn it.
As you know, I traveled to Great Britain once myself to study. It was around the time you were born. Yes, grandmother told me about it. On returning to Japan, I took up my professorship at the Imperial Yume University. But I also served another role, as an advisor to the government on diplomatic affairs. Yes, I was aware of that as well. In that case, I'm sure you understand that there are some confidential matters I cannot divulge to you. Could you just tell me one thing? Why did you send me back to Japan? It's been 2 months now since I returned. When I left England, it was because an urgent telegram had arrived from Japan. It said that you'd collapsed with a high fever, and you were growing weaker by the day.
What? Where did the news come from? Oh, so that was a lie.
That's what I'd like to know. After that long sea voyage, I found you in fine health, Father. Was there something in Great Britain that you perceived might inconvenience me in some way? Or harm me? That's really the only explanation I can think of. Dear me. Do you reserve your most cutting glares for your father, Susato? I'm sorry, my dear, I simply can't.
What the?
Do you need something? Minimo-san!
So, what though wasn't enough for you? I've got one last thing to say before they take me away, Professor.
Me?
Yes, you. I know the truth. I know you had a hand in what went on. And that visiting student's fate.
Visiting student? Giselle Brett, you mean?
No, not her! The student of law who left for Great Britain 8 months ago.
Huh?
You're talking about Kazuma, right?
Or... what? Student of law? He must mean... Kazuma-sama. What are you talking about? What's this to do with Kazuma-sama?
Nobody here in Japan knows anything about it.
What, they died in the steamship? Oh, yeah, that's exactly it.
No, not that. They don't know what the guy never... They don't know that the guy never made it to England. That he died on a steamship. And that he'll never... Ah! Well, I didn't expect to find him in here. What were you officers playing at?
Sorry, sir!
He did a Susato takedown. I was coming to tell you that the rickshaw had arrived, Eugene. And it's a good job, I can't lie.
Yes, thank you for dealing with him. I'll be there shortly.
Oh, Your Excellency.
Ha ha ha. The trial's over. I'm not your excellency anymore. Merely your father's friend. Seishiro Jigoku.
Seishiro Jigoku.
And may I say that since I saw you last, you seem to have taken a more dashing appearance. Susato.
Did you know all along? From the start of the trial?
Yeah, duh.
Mm-hmm. Ha 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 ha. A judge sees everything, Susato.
Except the one in Great Britain, he can't see worth squat.
No, he needs glasses, I don't.
I couldn't let you take the risk. If Seishiro here hadn't known and they recognized you. So I'd have word in his ear beforehand, as an old friend. So, Seishiro, shall we?
Yes. Having ruled on that case, we now have various diplomatic issues to address.
Before you go, Father.
Sorry, my dear. We shall have to return to our earlier conversation at a later date. Well done again, both of you. You did admirably.
Oh, thank you very much. What do you think of my Seishiro's sling, eh? It's been a while since I sent him out flying like that. Ha 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 ha.
Whatever could Father be hiding from me? About Giselle Brett. About Dr. Wilson. And now it seems, according to the reporter, about Kazuma-sama. I'm going to have to bring this up with Father sometime. When nobody else is around.
Judicial Assistant Mikotoba-san Esquires, could I have a word?
Oh, yes, of course, Hosuke-san. What is it?
I think perhaps it could be fate that we're meeting again like this now. Tell me, do you believe in gravity? Excuse you? You see, there's something I need to tell you.
Oh?
I believe that it may be related to the reason why your father summoned you back from England.
This I have to hear. Please, Sosuke-san, tell me at once.
I will! I will! I will! I will! As you know, my time in England was terrible. Cursed, I have no doubt. Such awful things I was embroiled in. Thank goodness local student Naruhodo-san Esquire stepped in. After he secured my freedom, I couldn't wait to get on a ship back here to my homeland. Having arrived in Japan, I submitted a report about my experiences to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The next thing I knew, I had a visitor. It was your father, Professor Mikotoba. He wanted to ask me all sorts of things about my report.
My father?
He seemed to be especially taken with the particular part of the report. Anyway, he left eventually, having thoroughly quizzed me. But it was the very next day that he sent the telegram to you asking you to return to Japan.
What was it then? The particular part my father was interested in?
I don't really know exactly. But do you remember them? Those two terrible cases I was caught up in?
Of course, I can never forget.
Your father seemed to concern himself mainly with the second case.
The second one? You mean the one Mr. Shums forbade any of us talk about in public?
Now, Patu, you may be thinking, 2 cases, but we only did 1 with him.
Yeah, where did the second case come from? I don't remember that.
So... And, we're forbidden from talking about it.
Oh.
Which is why the only case involving you that any member of the public is aware of is the first.
Well, I don't care! I'll listen to what that dastardly detective says! Anyway, the point is, it seems that case somehow holds the key to all these curious, unanswered questions. That horrific, hideous, heinous case. The case of the haunted lodgings.
That case somehow caused my father to summon me urgently back to Japan? I thought that whole business was over, but it seems I was wrong. Perhaps that was only the start. Perhaps the story is not yet told.
Ah, back here
So,
again.
The mystery of that Englishwoman's death is solved, thank goodness. And having stood in the Supreme Court now, I think I can comprehend a little better. How you must be feeling as you fight for people's freedom in a foreign land, Naruhodo-san. But actually, I'm writing to you today because of another matter. I met Soseki-san and we talked about that second case he was involved in. Father has said nothing to me, but I feel certain of it. That case holds the key to some great unsolved mystery. My notes on the case should still be in the office, tucked away at the back of the shelves on the left. Perhaps you might like to look over them again. Today, for the first time this year, it feels as though summer has arrived. The sky is a brilliant blue. It makes me long to see you again. Yours, Susato.
Well, that's it. So, thank you all so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Get the stuff around. And, as always, we'll see you in the next one.